Hey guys, welcome back to the Jersey Comic Crew. We are talking about WandaVision, theories, speculation, all the questions we have for the finale, episode 9, that's coming out next week. Come on inside to Westview.
Hey guys, Rob and Kris here from the Jersey Comic Crew, and we are talking WandaVision theories for the finale of WandaVision and, whatever, the future of Marvel. We'll talk about that too. But guys, we are so excited to get right into this. That last episode, the penultimate episode, unless Marvel tricks us and there's more, which I don't think so.
I'm not mad about it.
I won't be mad, right? We got to talk about Agatha Darkness, right? We saw her evil plan laid out. Like, she wanted to know what exactly what exactly Wanda was doing and how she got her powers. At the end, we saw spoilers. At the end, we saw her like grabbing the kids and pulling them back, which I don't even know if the kids are real or not at this point, right? They could.
I think they are.
I mean, they could be just like Vision, right? They're real, but they're not real, right?
Maybe.
So we have to talk about what is Agatha's plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it to get more power from Wanda? Do we think she's working for Mephisto? Ralph, are we still in that theory? I think personally, it's just Agatha. Like, Agatha wants more power, right? She wants to become stronger. I don't necessarily think it's Mephisto driven. I think she sensed this. She saw that there was a witch out there stronger than her, wants to know what's going on. We already know, thanks to the background story, that she saw after magic that was in the world that wasn't made for her because she wanted to know more knowledge. So this all could be like trying to get Wanda and like understand her power so she could kind of do the same thing. I don't think there's any Mephisto ties because there hasn't been any real Mephisto Agatha links yet. I mean, there's been all these like possibilities, maybes, that I don't think there's not enough evidence for me to sit there and chew on. I think it's just Agatha's greedy for knowledge. She wants to know what's going on with Wanda and how she can make her powers like Wanda's.
I think it's a little bit of both.
I hate when you say that. Go ahead.
I think I know. I'm like choosing the easy way out of the fence.
Nah, it's good.
I feel like it's absolutely Agatha's search for her own power, right? As we saw in her backstory in Salem, that's what she wanted. She wanted this dark magic. She wanted this dark power. She wants to be stronger. She doesn't like the fact that Wanda is stronger than her, and she's this mythical Scarlet Witch. Correct. That is this legend of witchcraft. And I think that ties into Mephisto a lot, but in a different way. I think it's now going to be, because again, the Darkhold seems to be in her basement, right? The book that brings out this power and kind of is like this gateway point. We know Wanda's a Nexus being. We know Wanda also doesn't know the extent of her power. I think Agnes is going to try and somehow drain the power the same way she drained it from her coven back in the 1600s from Wanda, maybe using the Darkhold with it, and in turn she does the last ditch effort of being stronger than Wanda, which is to summon Mephisto to give her the power in exchange for her soul to Mephisto.
That
not so much
work.
Wanda giving her soul to Mephisto, but Wanda's going to feel like this is my fault because she used my power to bring Mephisto into this world.
I think it's kind of hard for me to agree with that because the reason, I mean, it might be true, but like
because Ralph has to be. Is Ralph someone, or is it just again?
I think it's like, a throwaway.
It might be a throwaway. She lied to Vision in the car, right, where she was pretending to be like
correct
under Wanda's spell and stuck at the outskirts of town, but she said Ralph. Is it a throwaway line, or is it a name we're supposed to remember but forget while the plot's going on?
Maybe
until the very end. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. Like the last scene we saw Agatha and Wanda get together. Agatha's in the air choking the children, imaginary or not imaginary, yet to be seen. Obviously, that's upsetting Wanda and antagonizing Wanda. Why is she going outside, right, to do this? She had Wanda right where she wanted her, in her basement. She wants Wanda to get upstairs, get mad, get upset, unleash power. There has to be a reason for that. I can see maybe the Darkhold book is there. She's going to open it. It's going to get sucked right in. I can see that, but she's intentionally aggravating her, and I think it's maybe stronger.
Maybe she's going to use the twins as in like the reverse methodology as pieces of Mephisto's soul, offering the twin souls to Mephisto for him to come forth to power Agatha up. even more. I don't think Agatha Harkness is going to be a throwaway character anymore. I don't think she's going anywhere. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I was already really wrong about Ultron, mostly. We don't know if Vision's going to have any Ultron in him. But I don't think Agnes is going to go away after this next episode. I think Agatha Harkness is going to be
around
in bits and pieces, right? And maybe that's the last credit scene, right? Like, that's her summoning. She gets defeated by, Wanda and maybe Monica Rambeau, and we're going to see, hey, now is my last ditch effort of summoning the Dark Lord Mephisto to power me up in exchange for what's ever left of my soul. Again, she's been alive for over 300 years. She's going to know some stuff that no one else knows.
She has to. I agree with that. But I want to talk a little bit about Vision. Like, you just brought up Vision. So we got to talk about Hayward, White Vision, and, the fact that Vision's here. What exactly is going on with that? Obviously Hayward has an ulterior motive that's yet to be seen. He, lie to people saying, like, Wanda's doing this. Let Wanda leave, but said like he's tracking somebody in this hex, which obviously he's not if he has the body. So who's he really tracking? Maybe it's somebody else that's tailing Vision's
essence, or
maybe I don't think there's a way for him to track that.
Yeah.
I think that's just full of malarkey. But my thing is, when you have White Vision gonna conflict our vision, like Wanda's vision, I think what's gonna end up happening is that the two visions are going to fight and clash, right? And then ultimately, I think they're going to fuse to make a new vision. And this vision might not have the emotional ties to Wanda, or it might be like, hey, listen, I'm breaking up with you because you did this to me, and like you couldn't handle this. Like, I need to be my own self and like kind of like get
dumped
fixed
by a robot, man.
I think it's going to be more like, hey, we can't be together. I need to work on me before I get to you. I just became whole again, and I don't know what's going on.
That's like a sex doll breaking up with a human being.
Oh my God. I hope
I just don't know if that's going to happen. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me in that form of, like, I don't think we're going to get this new kind of robotic drone of a Vision, and it's just in one episode going to revert back to kind of a mixed bag or old Vision.
I think it's so.
No, I don't think it's going to be that kind of quick and painless. I think.
Oh, maybe so they both die then.
I think the White Vision is going to have to be either, like, I could totally see she takes whatever she manifested and puts it into that Vision's body. I can see that happening, but I think people are looking at this last episode as, oh, it's going to be like an hour and a half long. We're going to get all the answers.
No, I know we're not.
I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be cliffhanger as all hell. I think it's also going to, again, this is the first act in a 3-act play for Wanda. She's going to be a major player in Phase 4 and how Phase 4 stretches out over the entire Marvel Universe, right? Right now, this is the central piece. Literally, this is the bubble of her life and what's going on. It's going to expand into Spider-Man, which is now coming out this Christmas, which is No Way Home. And then we're going to get her in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is the 3rd act. So I think we're going to get this cliffhanger, but I think the answer may be, we have to know, is Vision going to come back to life, or is he dead?
In this episode, if this is the finale, we're getting an answer, not to everything, but there has to be an answer to Vision, right?
There has to be some answers to the questions, absolutely.
Like, so I think Vision, I mean, the sad thing is that Wanda might have to kill Vision again. Right, that's what I'm afraid of. Right,
I was thinking
she has to kill White Vision because he's not just on a rampage, and the other Vision, like Wanda sees, is just a manifestation, dissipates, and she says her goodbyes to him, kills the other Vision, goes crazy. Like, I love this show because you could go like with the good aspect. She kind of like understands and she moves forward, but like there's obviously going to be a psychic break in her, and something bad is going to happen. We know that like the other shoe's going to drop. And it might be seeing this other Vision trying to attack her. It might be, the kids getting destroyed and she does this. But like,
or the Vision manifestation that she made, the good one,
correct,
sacrifices his life essence or whatever to take down the White Vision.
It could be,
thus losing him all over again. Or they combine into Gogeta Vision. But I don't know. I think the Vision thing is questionable. There's also a possibility. Again, he's kind of this robotic sentient online. He doesn't remember anything. could there be a piece of Ultron in him that hasn't been activated yet?
So speaking of Ultron, right? So we talked about Hayward maybe being Ultron in the last series video, right? How maybe Ultron fused with him and like he's in hiding. We talked about Hayward being Mephisto.
Yeah.
Do you have? I think after watching this, I don't think it's Hayward as Ultron because the body is White Vision, right? That's obviously the storyline that they're going with that mechanical side, right? So that's out. The Mephisto storyline now with Hayward,
question mark.
I don't think he is Mephisto. There is still that idea that he might have made a deal with Mephisto. I think the answer to that question we will not get until later down in the MCU when Mephisto becomes a bigger character. And
maybe
we can see like, oh, Hayward's been doing this all along. I think Hayward is just going to be a mean, rude guy, and that's how we're going to see him at the end of the show. But there's always going to be in the back of our mind that there's a reason why. I don't think we're going to get that answer in this episode. I was wondering if you're on the same page with me on that.
That Hayward line is still sticking out to me, where he's basically kind of like almost like it's like a Garden of Eden-esque if you went to Catholic school, right? The devil in the details, the snake coming in and saying, well, you can bring him back to life. All you have to do is take him. You know what I mean? Like all you have to do is bite from the apple kind of situation. And that to me is very like red flaggy of like, holy crap, this guy literally is. How does he know that she could do this? How does she know her power set? What is his connection?
Exactly.
You know, and again, is the obvious thing is Mephisto maybe Ralph? Is it Ralph or is it Jimmy Woo's missing person? You know what I mean?
I don't know. But I want to talk a little bit about, before we get to Wanda, right, and her power set, I want to talk a little bit about Monica, right?
Yes.
What do you think Monica is going to do in the next episode and in the future? I want, my take is that like in this episode, she's obviously gonna like team up with the Vision that we know and Darcy to try to like talk Wanda down. And I don't think she's gonna realize her powers yet. She might like be able to stop some stuff, but I think we're gonna get a physical confrontation with her in what aspects I don't know. And then I think in the future of the MCU, she's gonna team up with Carol Danvers and be a superhero in space.
Yeah, I mean, we know she's going to be in Captain Marvel 2 regardless, right? That's already been announced. That's confirmed. I think fake Pietro has her.
Ah,
could they be using her power source into the Darkhold? Could they be using? Because she's going to be trapped by Pietro, right? She's Pietro got her.
Yeah,
and that's going to be an aspect where it's like, all right, how does Monica get out of this? I don't think someone's going to save her unless it's Vision, because Vision was on the way home. But that's going to be an aspect that's interesting. Are we going to see a little bit of Monica's powers where she doesn't know how to control them, but she's using them to help and save Wanda? But at the same time, she's not like fully in control of flying and all this stuff. It's kind of just like very origin based. Like I'm helping a little bit and then I'm getting my ass thrown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that could be it. But she's going to play a huge part. I think the finale is here's my ultimate like after credit tease finale.
All right, what is it?
It's after all of this, whatever happens with Wanda is going to happen with Wanda. But with Monica, could she be going to this aerospace engineer for tests on her of like, you have powers, and she's kind of in like, you know, like the back to tank thing we see all the time in Marvel now, right? Where she's kind of hooked up to all these prods and things. And it's the aerospace engineer is Reed Richards. And he's putting tests on Wanda, and he's just sitting there looking at her as you see her power level rising.
Maybe.
And all he says is fascinating, fantastic, but fascinating. And then it ends.
Oh, I like that.
Very comic nerdy. He says the word fantastic in it. But like very Reed Richards, like over the top, nerdy, big words.
Exactly.
I mean, as big as I can think of, but big words. And just like as we see, you know, fascinating. You know, like he says fascinating a lot. He's always into science.
Yeah.
And he's testing Monica, and Monica's like, you know, says like a line like, "Thanks for helping me out, and thanks for like sending the rover or something."
Oh, they could not even show the face and just mess with us even more.
Don't even show like just show the sides of like John.
The sidebird. The sidebird.
Yeah, just give me the gray, the sexy gray swirls, man. That's all I need. And like, he doesn't have to be in a Fantastic Four suit, but some type of jumpsuit. You know what I mean? And just give me that, and I will pass out.
All right. Last thing I want to talk about with reference to Wanda and the whole MCU, that Marvel essentially just announced that there are mutants in this world that just haven't started yet. And the reason I say that, no, like all jokes aside,
No,
she
absolutely.
had powers before this, but it might not have been strong enough to move forward, right? So this gene in people, this innate ability in people, needed a catalyst from the Infinity Stones to move forward in this world. It could be. This is my theory. It doesn't have to be, right? So the X-Men, Charles Xavier, Beast, all that. Oh,
it always goes back to the X-Men
right?
with you.
Well, like all these other mutants, right? They're not here yet because they're here as humans, right? But half of the world's population disappeared and came back. Half of the world's population came in contact with the Infinity Stone. Who's to say that that population, some of them could have their latent abilities advance or catalyst even more, and the mutant powers start developing? And you could have people like Professor Xavier or somebody who had it beforehand, maybe like as a child, like Wanda, but was able to grow it and keep it. Like he was the diamond in the rough, like Wanda, and was able to keep their powers growing. And now that he understands what he is, and other people, he could go out there and create the school because he's been using his powers for longer and understands how to control it. Like that could be a thing. Like X-Men and the mutants could be in the Marvel universe and just continue to grow because of this. Like they kind of created a backdoor for themselves to do that. I think they just gave them a lot of creative maneuverability. Instead of painting themselves in the corner, they painted themselves a whirlwind of opportunities.
I think you're on the right track, but also getting just a little bit ahead of yourself.
Shut up.
And and this isn't to like burst the party bubble.
You did.
But I think you're on the right track. I think phase 4, when we look back on it, when we're in a couple years in the future, I think phase 4 we're going to look at as the road to the mutants. I think you're on the right track in the sense of Wanda's going to be the catalyst. She's a big player in phase 4, whether it's she's, the Nexus being, whether it's her powers or, she's going to start realizing how strong she is and what her powers are, right? She's kind of living in ignorance of her own power right now. She is extremely strong. She has chaos magic. She's the Scarlet Witch of legend and doesn't know what any of that means.
Yeah.
Right? She's created a world where she doesn't even know how she did it. That is Omega level mutant shit, which we've been talking about for weeks.
Yes, it is.
I think you are right. I think the snap is going to have, or the blip is going to have something to do with it. I think her Nexus energy, I think multiverse of madness, I think all that has to play out first and kind of tie in together before the mutants happen. And I think you're on the right track. I think that's going to be more phase 5 and beyond.
Yeah.
After we kind of we got to finish the storylines of the characters we still have from like earlier phases, right? Like we can't just be like, we're going to mutant, screw everybody else.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard, like, let's say phase 5 is just mutants. Like, you need a balance of mutants and other stuff.
I'm not saying it's just mutants. I think that's where they're going to show up.
Okay, like in like full force and like full effect.
Or we're going to start getting origins of mutants and maybe like Xavier, again with the school, and maybe the first 5 with the young X-Men and Wanda's either in the picture still or doing something else.
And guys, that is our theories video for WandaVision, for our finale of WandaVision and what's going to happen in the future. Let us know down in the comments below what your favorite theory is going into that finale. Thank you so much.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe, turn on those notifications if you're new. You don't want to miss any more theory videos, especially if we're right. And we are going to be breaking down all of the finale of WandaVision, what's next after WandaVision next week. So stay tuned for that. As always, I'm Chris Heller. That is Rob Moran. We're the Jersey Com Crew, and we'll see you for the last time in Westview next week.